Nike struck absolute gold when they signed Caitlin Clark to an 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal. So why in the world are they ignoring?
Nike's in major trouble, all due to their way of handling Caitlin Clark. Have they made one of the biggest mistakes ever by choosing to ignore Caitlin? She just wants to be the best basketball player, and she's caught up in this political deal, and she's caught up in this racial discussion, and she's dealing with Nike, an organization that got her on a bargain basement deal, and is telling her, well, we're going to wait to promote you until we're done promoting Asia Wilson. Won't even put out a Caitlin Clark commercial, won't put out a Caitlin Clark shoe because Nike has decided that they must bow. Nike has declined in recent years. They have lost more than $100 billion in value since 2021. It got so bad that many people asked that their CEO be fired, which forced him to retire. Is sports losing popularity? No. So what's going on at Nike? And what does Caitlin Clark have to do with it? At the start of this year's WNBA season, it was announced that Caitlin Clark signed a massive endorsement deal with Nike. This deal was for 8 years, $28 million with a signature sneaker included. Not that big of a deal for a generational talent, right? That's what everyone else also thought. Nike was about to make a bag because they might have just signed on to the biggest starts for the next 2 decades. But then nothing. Complete silence. Nike just bailed like a fantastic deal. Now, since she has signed this contract, you guys, and her WNBA season has come and gone. And with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials. We have not seen any ads. We have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise. And we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes. It is mind-blowing. However, there is some good news. Nike has signed one of the few generational stars with the potential to generate billions. Think of Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, LeBron James, and now Caitlin Clark. Caitlin signed an 8-year contract with Nike worth up to $28 million in April of this year, a bargain that Nike will profit from, particularly with the signature shoe. Despite being named unanimous WNBA Rookie of the Year, Nike has no plans to manufacture a Caitlin Clark shoe. Why not? Nike's official reasoning is obviously incorrect. What are they hiding? This narrative takes a crazy turn. In summary, Nike lucked into the marketing chance of a generation, and they're using that to advertise old product. Why is it happening this way? Now, here's the money. First and foremost, Caitlin had already signed a non-binding deal with Nike when she blew up in college. Caitlin was so popular that she became the most well-known collegiate player in the country, twice as popular as second-place Angel Reese and 4 times more than the most popular. That has never happened before. When she became professional, several shoe manufacturers pursued her. Under Armour announced that she will be the face of the Curry brand, and Adidas and Nike also made bids. She stayed with Nike because of how they pushed her in college, and everyone was eager for an update on her trademark sneaker, but there is still no update. Previously there was, but this upgrade is just ridiculous. She broke the record for the most points in NCAA scoring history for both the men and the women. Nike put up this huge billboard that's basically like, if you break it, you own it, and this was in Iowa. They had other ads and things that came out, but since then it has been. Then Asia Wilson, who had just won another MVP, showed out her sneaker, revealing a stunning fact about Caitlin. Wilson's shoe, which began development in 2023, is expected to be introduced in spring 2025. According to this 2-year plan, Clark's shoe might be sold in stores in 2026 to 2027. What? 2027? Nike's reason? The process is extensive and requires Clark and the Nike support, in addition to producing millions of pairs and coordinating a marketing campaign. So why in the world are they being so quiet about Caitlin? Either one, there's some stuff going on behind the scenes at Nike. Their stock has dropped like 20% this year. I know that they have fired people, hired new people. Like there's a lot of moving parts. That to me, I know they're blaming some of it on that, but that seems to be such a small minor detail when you have the gold mine that is Caitlin Clark. It seems to me that it is more on the political side as to why Caitlin Clark is not getting the praise, the commercials, the ads, all of the things that she should have gotten during this rookie season. Does make sense, right? But wait, there's more. Had his own signature shoe his rookie year. So 20 years ago, Nike was nimble enough and had enough vision to see that, hey, let's get LeBron's shoe out here. This guy's going to be a big deal. They can't do this for Caitlin Clark for some reason. And lo and behold, though it wasn't exactly pushed on the public, there has been no Nike commercial for Clark as a pro. Let that sink in. No Caitlin Clark commercial. She's had 4 years of being the biggest star in all of sports, driving off these ratings. No Nike commercial. So if that is Nike's argument, they are lying in 2003. Shoe companies were interested in signing LeBron James. Reebok, Adidas, and Nike all wanted to sign him, and a signature shoe was at the top of their list. Nike even began creating his shoes before he signed. They didn't want the story to spread, so they devised an internal code name Air Zoom Nobel, LeBron spelled backward. Okay, that was obvious, so they selected Air Zoom Generation instead. While LeBron was still in high school, Nike started designing and manufacturing a sneaker for him without his knowledge. They intended to completely overwhelm him, and it worked. LeBron collaborated with Nike and donned the LeBron 1S in his NBA debut. So you're telling me that Nike has gotten so bad at shoe production that what used to take 3 months now takes 3 years? No, there is something else going on here. Caitlyn is breaking records while wearing Kobe's has yet to feature in a Nike advertisement. They are purposefully avoiding putting her in the spotlight. Could this have been the plan after all? Get her on one of the longest agreements ever just to throw her aside because Nike is preoccupied with someone else. Aja Wilson. In summary, Nike lucked into the marketing chance of a generation. And they're using that to advertise old product. Why is it happening this way? Now, here's the money. Based on conversations with people in the know, it indeed has something to do with the WNBA MVP and Nike athlete, Aja Wilson. But beyond Wilson, it's about the culture of the company that's more concerned with quelling noise rather than making it as Nike once used to. In fact, Ethan Strauss, a well-connected and recognized writer, revealed on Substack that based on encounters with insiders, it is undoubtedly linked to WNBA MVP and Nike athlete Aja Wilson. Really, what would that be? When Caitlyn signed her $28 million contract with Nike, she received a lot of criticism on social media. In fact, a prominent publication printed the following headline: Caitlyn Clark is reportedly getting her own shoe. This is why people are upset. According to the narrative, while Caitlyn's own shoe is a positive move for women's reporting on the arrangement has stirred outrage. What is the problem? Some fans stated that the only WNBA players wearing signature shoes were white. Many people thought Las Vegas Aces Aja Wilson should have gotten her own shoe before Clark, who hadn't even played a WNBA game yet. Truly makes me wonder if I were Caitlyn Clark's management, and again, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I would be truly rethinking the deal that I signed up for. How do you miss an opportunity like that? How do you not capitalize? It doesn't make any sense at all. Is Aja Wilson currently the best player in the WNBA? Yes, is Caitlyn Clark currently the face of the WNBA? Yes. Do I think if Aja Wilson dropped a shoe and Caitlyn Clark dropped a shoe today at the very same time that Caitlyn Clark would outsell Aja's shoe by 100 times? Yes, I think that would be the case, and I'm sorry to break that news to everybody. Whether it's fair, whether it's whatever, that's just the truth. We saw the jersey sales numbers. We didn't actually see the actual numbers, but we saw the top jersey sales in the WNBA this season. In Asia, despite being a third-time MVP, her jersey sales were faithfully, even after Kate Martin, who barely saw the court the second half. Perhaps this scared Nike off, don't you think? Idiots. They're not about business. They're not about growing the WNBA. They're about diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is insanity, what they're doing to Caitlyn Clark. It's bad business. It's short-sighted. So it's not that Caitlyn isn't excellent at basketball, it's just that it's unfair and racist. Why would Nike choose justice above profitability? Even worse, why would Nike budge when this clearly demonstrates a racial motive? If they had just moved on in the most lucrative way, it would not have been such a huge deal. But they didn't. They are hiding behind lame excuses like dropping revenue and layoffs. But at the same time, they have plenty of time to work on stuff for Aja Wilson. So their WNBA department isn't closed, right? Well, then why don't they just spend some time on Caitlyn? It's because they know what will happen. Aja will be forgotten, and Nike will have to pay a contract that isn't delivering in terms of revenue. It's something we've seen happen before in the NBA. As later in his story, Ethan made a fantastic comparison between Allen Iverson and Tim Duncan. Duncan was clearly the better player, but Iverson dominated shoe sales and no one complained about fairness. In fact, Nike tested Tim Duncan's shoes twice before discontinuing them due to low sales. Do you know who did not care? Tim Duncan. But if Aja Wilson were like Duncan, Caitlyn Clark's circumstances may be different, but it isn't. Aja adores being featured in Nike advertisements, as she should. Most people desire to be on billboards and in advertisements. Plus, it's lucrative. However, she also appears to foster the notion that it is racist. And check out what she told her teammate Kelsey Plum while watching another white athlete, Paige Buckers. Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, do you think you're not really about me? Please know, if she knows that her friends are friends to that point, and also, like, she's been at basketball often. Like, she understands her friends like they are, which is called the top in the city. It reminds me a lot of you. And Plum said, thank you, but Aja's response shows that Paige's luxury has carried her to the top. Of course, she is also an excellent basketball player. No, which is it. If Aja is Nike's best female athlete, they do not want to upset her. Imagine the backlash Caitlin would have faced if Nike had offered her a sneaker right away. Even Team USA's coach chastised Caitlin Clark. The WNBA tweeted about the first preseason game in which Caitlin appeared significantly. However, the Lynx USA coach stated, also in play tonight are teams other than Caitlin Clark, etc. The W represents more than one player. People were unhappy that a WNBA and Olympic coach used the hashtag. An older woman is outraged at a 22-year-old's preseason debut, but it was not all. Unsurprisingly, Caitlin was left off the Team USA roster. What was the rationale provided? She hadn't earned it yet. Oh, it is not jealousy, it's a basketball decision. Caitlin went on to be selected first-team All-WNBA as a rookie, leading all rookies in points, field goals made, assists, steals, and minutes, while also leading all players in assists and three-pointers made. She finished fourth in MVP voting. Her games attracted over 1 million viewers on television, despite the fact that the average WNBA game draws only 300,000. A ticket to her first playoff game was more expensive than all previous WNBA playoff games combined. The Washington Mystics recently hosted Caitlin's club, the Indiana Fever, and had to relocate to the Wizards Arena to accommodate all of the fans, setting a new WNBA attendance record. So despite the hoopla, she is very amazing. Team USA ultimately admitted that keeping her off the roster was a mistake. And now Nike is approaching a time where they will be sorry for neglecting the biggest star the WNBA has ever seen. And the fans are also starting to notice, resulting in major backlash for Nike. Just have a look at these comments. So let me get this straight. One, Nike signed Caitlin Clark to a big deal, but haven't posted a congratulations post for winning Rhodey. Two, WNBA haven't posted the Roddy winner either, but the Adidas ambassador did a whole post congratulating CC on her accomplishments. Shaking my head. It seems odd that I haven't seen any Nike commercials with Caitlin Clark since turning professional and becoming Rookie of the Year. Seems like a massive miss. And after paying her tens of millions of dollars, she still doesn't have a shoe anywhere in sight. They know the WNBA league hates Caitlin Clark. Nike does not want to cause controversy. The WNBA is a hostile work environment for a straight white Catholic woman trying to play at the professional level. Adidas celebrating Caitlin Clark's nominal rookie year while her endorser Nike stays mum to prevent hurt feelings for Aja is savvy business. So what about it, Nike? Are you really that hesitant to give Caitlin Clark her own shoe for fear of a social media backlash? Do you think it's apparent why the previous CEO had to stand down? Let me know your opinions in the comments section below.